Have you ever had one indicator tell you to buy only for another indicator to tell you to sell? Well, this happens because most technical indicators only analyze one side of the market. Some only measure momentum, others only measure the trend, while others only look at the price structure. But professional traders rarely rely on just one confirmation before taking a trade. Instead, they wait for multiple pieces of evidence to point in the same direction. That is exactly what this indicator is built to solve. Instead of relying on a single signal, the Triple Confluence Navigator waits until three completely different types of market analysis agree before generating a signal. It combines momentum analysis, adaptive trend confirmation, and market structure into a single trading system designed to filter out many of the low-quality signals that often appear during choppy markets. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this indicator works, the best settings to use, and a simple trading strategy that you can apply on the 5-minute time frame of GBP/JPY. Let's get into it. To get started, you want to open TradingView, the trading platform I'm going to be using for this video. If you haven't signed up yet and you want to use the same setup I'm using, there's going to be a link in the video description for you to sign up. Next, open the 5-minute time frame of GBP/JPY, but remember, this strategy can actually work on any trading security and on any time frame. Next, click on Indicators and search for Triple Confluence Navigator, and you want to select this one by MarkitTick. Once you've added it to your chart, this is how it's gonna look. Now, the Triple Confluence Navigator is built around one simple idea. Now, instead of entering trades whenever one indicator gives a signal, it waits until three independent market conditions agree with each other. Those three confirmations are momentum, adaptive momentum trend, and market structure. Only when all three align within a configurable number of candles does the indicator generate a buy or a sell setup. Now, let's take a look at its components. The first thing you'll notice are the buy and sell labels that appear directly on the chart. These labels don't just appear every single time one indicator changes direction. Instead, they only appear after all three confirmation systems agree with one another. That's why you'll generally notice fewer signals compared to many traditional indicators. The next thing you'll notice are these horizontal dashed lines. The middle dashed line represents the entry price, and then below or above that, you'll find the stop-loss line, depending on whether it's a buy or a sell setup. And then you'll see three separate take-profit levels, labeled TP1, TP2, and TP3. These levels are calculated automatically using the indicator's built-in risk management system, which combines market structure with volatility measurements instead of relying on fixed stop-loss distances. You'll also notice that the area between the entry and the stop-loss is shaded. This represents your risk. The area extending toward your take-profit levels represents your potential reward. Now, let's move over to the dashboard. This small table contains the three confirmations that make this indicator unique. The first section represents the momentum module. Internally, this uses moving averages applied directly to the RSI rather than directly to price. So instead of asking whether price itself is moving higher or lower, it's asking whether momentum is strengthening or weakening. The second section represents the adaptive momentum module. This is based on an adaptive RSI combined with a supertrend that's calculated on the oscillator itself rather than directly on price. That may sound complicated, but the idea is actually very simple. Rather than measuring trend from price alone, the indicator measures the trend of momentum itself. This often allows it to recognize momentum shifts before they become obvious on the chart. The third section represents market structure. This module constantly tracks swing highs and swing lows. Whenever price breaks above a previous swing high, it identifies a break-off structure. Whenever price breaks below an important swing low after an existing trend, it can identify a change of character. This gives the indicator confirmation from actual price structure rather than relying only on oscillators. The final confirmation shown on the dashboard is the higher time frame trend filter. This checks whether the larger trend agrees with the current setup. Even though we're going to use our own trend confirmation later in this strategy, it's still useful to keep this dashboard visible because it gives additional context for the overall market direction. Now, let's take a look at the settings of the indicator. Open the indicator settings and move to the Inputs tab. The first group controls the momentum calculations. Here you'll find the RSI length together with the fast and slow smoothing lengths. These determine how sensitive the momentum module becomes. Lower values produce earlier signals but can also generate more noise. Higher values smooth the signals and overall produce fewer but stronger setups. Next, you'll find the filter type. The indicator allows you to choose different smoothing methods, including the Coleman filtering and LLAMA adaptive smoothing. Both are designed to reduce market noise while reacting faster than traditional moving averages. For this strategy, I'm going to leave the default settings because they've already been optimized by the developer. Now, the next section controls the adaptive RSI module. Here you'll find the supertrend factor together with additional adaptive smoothing settings. The supertrend factor controls how sensitive the adaptive momentum trend becomes. Smaller values make the trend react more quickly. Larger values require stronger momentum before changing direction. Again, for GBP/JPY on a 5-minute time frame, I'm going to leave these settings at their default values. The rest of the settings are pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any changes that you need to make, you can make them yourself. But for now, we're going to move on to how we can use this indicator to take long and short positions. Now, before we start trading with this indicator, we're going to add one more tool. Although the Triple Confluence Navigator already includes its own higher time frame trend filter, a very clear visual trend confirmation directly on the chart. So click on Indicators and once again, search for the indicator called 3 EMAs, and you want to select this one called 3 EMAs by Genio. Once you've added it to your chart, you want to double-click on it to open the settings. Under the Inputs tab, change EMA lengths to 34, 55, and 89. These aren't just random numbers. They're actually Fibonacci sequence numbers, and Fibonacci values tend to work very well in financial markets because they're often widely followed by traders and often align with natural market swings. Next, move over to the Style tab. Change the first EMA to green, the second EMA to light blue, and the third EMA to red. Once you've done that, click OK. We're going to use these 3 moving averages only to identify the trend of the market. If the green EMA is on top and the light blue EMA is in the middle, with the red EMA being at the bottom, the market is in a bullish trend. Whenever we see this alignment, we're going to look to take only long positions. On the other hand, if the red EMA is on top, the light blue EMA remains in the middle, and the green EMA is at the bottom, the market is in a bearish trend, and we will take only short positions. Now, how do we take a long position? Here are the conditions. Condition number 1 is that the market must be in a bullish trend, as identified by these 3 EMAs lined up like this. We also want the price to be constantly trading above both 3 EMAs. Condition number 2 is pullback. Instead of chasing the market after a strong move higher, we're going to wait for price to come back toward the moving averages. Specifically, we want the price to touch either the green EMA or the blue EMA. It can simply touch one of them with a wick, or it can briefly close below one of them before closing back above it on the very next candle. However, there is one important rule. During the entire pullback, price must never touch the red EMA, not even with a wick. If price touches the red EMA at any point during the pullback, the setup immediately becomes invalid because the retracement is now too deep, suggesting the bullish trend may be weakening. In this example, you can see that the price pulls back into the green EMA before finding support and bouncing higher. Since it never reaches the red EMA, this is exactly the type of pullback we're looking for. Condition number 3 is the entry confirmation. Once the first candle touches either the green or the blue EMA, we're going to begin counting candles from that point. We now have a maximum of 10 candles for the Triple Confluence Navigator to print a buy signal. If the buy signal appears after the 10th candle, we're simply going to ignore the setup because too much time has passed since the pullback began. The momentum we're looking for has likely faded by then. In this example, the buy signal appears just 8 candles after the first candle touched the green EMA, so all 3 conditions are satisfied and the setup remains valid. At this point, we're going to take a long position. The stop loss is placed exactly at the red EMA since that's our invalidation level. If price reaches that moving average, the setup is no longer valid and we want to be out of the trade. The take profit is going to be set at 1.5 times the risk. Letting the trade run. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the trade was profitable. Now, for a short position, we're going to do the opposite. Condition number 1 is that the market must be in a bearish trend as indicated by the 3 EMAs being lined up like this. We also want the price to be constantly trading below all the 3 EMAs. Condition number 2 is pullback. We're going to wait for the price to retrace back toward the moving averages. During that pullback, price should touch either the green EMA or the blue EMA. It can reject one of them with a wick or briefly close above one of them before closing back below it on the following candle. The one thing we do not want to see is price touching the red EMA. In this example, you can see price retraces back and rejects from the green EMA before continuing lower. It never touches the red EMA, so the pullback remains valid. Condition number 3 is the entry confirmation. Once the first candle touches either the green or the blue EMA, we're going to start counting candles. From that point, the Triple Confluence Navigator has a maximum of 10 candles to print a sell signal. If the sell signal appears after the 10th candle, we're simply gonna ignore the setup because too much time would have passed. In this example, counting from the first candle that touched the moving average, the sell signal appears just 7 candles later, thus making this a valid entry. At this point, we're going to take a short position. The stop loss is going to be placed exactly at the red EMA, which acts as our invalidation level. The take profit is going to be set at 1.5 times the risk. Letting this trade run. And you can see the trade too was profitable. Now, a quick word on expectations. No indicator wins every trade. There will be times when all 3 confirmations line up and the market still reverses. That is simply part of trading. The goal isn't to eliminate losing trades. The goal is to consistently put yourself in situations where the probabilities are in your favor. This is not financial advice. Everything shown in this video is for educational purposes only. Always build a complete trading plan around your own risk tolerance, use proper risk management, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. If you found value in this video, remember to leave a like, or even better, consider subscribing so you don't miss future trading strategies and indicator breakdowns just like this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.